here just to help y'all out. Welcome back to Street Scores. It's your boy Rico giving y'all an off-season update edition of Redskins Report, contracts, signees, roster moves, rumors, and more. Today's topic, the Redskins offseason so far. Let's get it. Here's a list of the keepers, the people that we re-signed going into the 2018 offseason. Cornerback Quentin Dunbar signed a 3-year contract extension worth $10.5 million on January 1st. He is expected to move into the starting cornerback position opposite of Josh Norman, and I'm expecting the most talented corner on our roster, Fabian Moreau, to eventually develop and mature and become our Redskins version of Revis Island. Then there's inside linebacker Mason Foster. He signed a 2-year contract extension worth $3.4 million on January 25th. This is a very good deal for him, with him having some upside to become a very good player. He has shown flashes last year, so this is a very team-friendly deal if he performs as well as I think he will. Then strong safety DeShazer Everett signed a 2-year contract extension worth $2.6 million on March 6th, which is a good number for him to basically be our break in case of emergency safety. Kicker Dustin Hopkins signed a 3-year contract extension worth $6.9 million on March 12th. Nice to lock up a kicker long term. I hope he doesn't get too relaxed and think he can't get released any moment though and start missing kicks. Then we placed a 2nd round tender on offensive tackle Ty Nsekhe worth $2.9 million, who is currently a restricted free agent. If some other team were to offer him a contract and if Nsekhe were to sign with that team, the Redskins would receive that team's 2nd round pick. And right now we just have him as some offensive tackle depth with the way that Morgan Moses and Trent Williams were getting hurt last year. 6th, wide receiver Brian Quick re-signed for a 1-year $880,000 contract. The Redskins don't seem to be too vested in him or Maurice Harris, so my boy Robert Davis from Georgia State has a chance to make a move for that 4th wide receiver spot on the depth chart. And the biggest re-signing of this offseason, inside linebacker Zach Brown signed a 3-year contract worth $24 million on March 15, 2018. This was a huge sigh of relief for me and the Redskins Nation everywhere. I was sporadically refreshing my Zach Brown Twitter search over the course of a few days until we re-signed this man. And he signed for less than I expected. So this is definitely one of my favorite moves of this entire offseason. And lastly, 2011 1st round draft pick nose tackle Phil Taylor was re-signed to a 1-year deal. He has no signing bonus, so he will have to make the final roster in order to make any of that money, and this makes sense with him not playing since 2014 due to injuries. He showed a lot of promise in last year's preseason, but then he suffered a season-ending injury again. Sad, sad, sad. Now to the losses. Bashaud Breeland, cornerback, was supposed to sign with the Carolina Panthers on a 3-year contract worth $24 million, $11 million guaranteed, but he failed his physical due to an infection on the back of his foot. He initially cut the back of his foot in the 4th grade, but then he re-injured it while in the Dominican Republic this offseason. He is reported to be a few months away from passing any physical, so for now, he is floating in free agency limbo. Wide receiver Ryan Grant, aka Ryan Gruden, aka Jay Gruden's partner them, signed with the Indianapolis Colts with a 1-year contract worth $5 million after he almost stole $29 million with $14.5 million guaranteed from the Ravens. Ryan Gruden supposedly had an ankle problem, but the ankle is just fine, which is clearly shown by his signing with the Colts immediately after failing his physical for the Ravens. I definitely feel like the Ravens finally got off that henny they won when they came up with that initial offer, and then they had to find any excuse to void the contract. If there was no ankle problem, they probably would have set him up to slip on a banana peel while he was on the way to sign the contract. But anyway, center guard Spencer Long signed with the New York Jets on a 4-year $27.4 million contract with $9 million guaranteed, and I love these big contracts our ex-teammates are getting because this helps our compensatory pick formula for 2019's draft. But apparently the Jets were off the same henny the Ravens were, and it's also been reported the Redskins were never in contact with him in the offseason, so he was definitely out of here. The Redskins either have a lot of faith in Chase Rollier to protect our new asset, Alex Smith, or we may draft one in the next few weeks. Then there's edge Trent Murphy, signed with the Buffalo Bills on a 3-year $21 million contract. Also helps our compensatory pick formula. Tight end Niles Paul, who I'm a little sad about, signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars for an $8.75 million contract over 2 years. Wide receiver Terrell Pryor signed with the New York Jets after coming to DC and suddenly forgetting how to catch and run routes. The details have yet to be revealed. They might be too embarrassed to report it. Junior Gillette, who I'm also sad about, has been told by the Redskins they will not bring him back as Junior declined the Redskins' previous offers. Junior Gillette wanted more money, and in a way, he deserves it. because he has pass rush ability, moves, and hands, and a plan and athleticism that nobody else on this roster has. Junior Galette was the only person who could give Trent Williams problems in practice. But Junior had previously had 2 season-ending Achilles injuries, and the Redskins must not have wanted to invest too much into an injury-prone player, even though he just came off of a fully healthy season. Also, Junior was the last of the Haitian trio with Ricky, Jean-Francois, and Pierre Garçon. Sad. Cornerback Kendall Fuller, who I'm the saddest about, we sent him to the Chiefs along with a 3rd-round pick to get Alex Smith. I watched him go from falling in the 2016 draft because of his injury to having a very disappointing rookie season due to his injury and people starting to doubt him. Then I saw him become one of the best slot corners in the league last year. And as soon as he was able to match elite level production with his elite level talent, we traded him away. And he didn't even know before I knew. He was one of the last people to find out. Hey, Kansas City, for real though, give him back. It was funny for a little while, it was a cool little jokey joke, but I'm gonna need y'all to give him back. Safety linebacker hybrid, Sua Cravens. The Redskins sent him to the Broncos for a 5th round and conditional 6th round pick and a 4th and 5th swap. Wish we could have gotten more value from the trade, but at the end of the day, he clearly showed he was more into talking to porn stars and flying to Cali to cheer for college football than playing in the NFL. He was too social media. His teammates also questioned him, so he was just an unhealthy presence in the locker room at this point. He had to go, and at least we got some value from it. And if y'all didn't know, out of the 41 players we have drafted from 2012 to 2016, we only have 11 of them still on roster. It is crazy. And lastly, team favorite, linebacker Will Compton signed with the Titans. Details have yet to emerge. And on a positive note, here are the Redskins additions so far this offseason. We acquired quarterback Alex Smith on the last year of his current deal with the Kansas City Chiefs for $14.5 million, and then the Redskins extended him for 4 years at $94 million, which includes $71 million guaranteed. Sounds like a lot, but the way quarterbacks contracts are going, especially Kirk Cousins, that quarterback market is about to skyrocket in a few years, and he will be on a very team-friendly deal within the next couple of years. Y'all will see. And then there's ex-Seattle Seahawks wide receiver Paul Richardson. We signed him to a 5-year contract worth $40 million with $20 million guaranteed. Jay Gruden jokingly said that he expects Paul Richardson to do a better job at separating from defensive backs than all of the Redskins wide receivers did last year. And shouts out to one of the realest out here doing it, Pierre Garçon, for recommending the Redskins to Paul Richardson. They both have the same agent, and Pierre basically backed him on his decision to sign with the Redskins. Pierre's so real. He's still out here helping the Redskins from San Francisco. Crazy. Wish we could have him back. But I am excited about Paul Richardson. He's supposed to be like a baby Deshaun Jackson, taking the lid off the defense. And he is also a very good route runner, and he's made some incredible catches for Seattle. I'm expecting to have a bigger year with us than Seattle because Russell Wilson isn't a great route receiver. He's better at extending off-schedule plays and finding receivers. Alex Smith is a better route running receiver and timing the routes and all of that. So I'm expecting Paul Richardson to see a great boost in productivity in 2019 with us. Then there's Australian punter Sam Irwin-Hill, signed a $1.05 million contract with us. He has been brought in to compete with Tress Way, which is a move I do not understand at all. I love competition, but Tress Way is actually really good at what he does with helping out our field position woes, so I don't get this signing. Ex-Dallas Cowboys cornerback Orlando Scandrick signed a 2-year contract worth $10 million. He's expected to help Quentin Dunbar and Fabian Moreau develop into better corners, and he can provide some solid cornerback depth. He is more talented than people give him credit for. He just has some injury issues. Outside linebacker Pernell McPhee from the Chicago Bears signed a 1-year, $1.8 million prove-it deal on March 26th, which is a very team-friendly deal. Only $350,000 of it is guaranteed. He is not as good as Junior Galette, and since the Redskins didn't want to give Galette good money, then they definitely were not going to give McPhee good money. But I do like McPhee. He will help mitigate some of the lost impact of Junior Galette and Trent Murphy, and he will do so at a very cheap price. And lastly, quarterback Kevin Hogan was acquired from the Browns. The Redskins traded 6th-round picks with the Browns. The Browns moved up to pick 188, and the Redskins moved down to pick 205. Now the free agent hopefuls. Jonathan Hankins, one of the Colts' best defensive players last year, was cut this offseason because the team is switching to a 4-3, and he is a pure nose tackle, but a great one. The Redskins brought him in for a visit on March 18th. They are pretty far apart on the number side, with the Redskins being very frugal as of these past few years. so the possibility of getting a deal done is very slim, but there's a glimmer of hope. He has visited multiple teams since visiting the Redskins and is yet to finalize a deal. I personally would love to see him sign to a team-friendly deal and then draft the best player available at the 13th pick. Redskins need to stop playing. Sign Hankins, then draft Tremaine Edmonds, Minka, or Derwin. Somebody is going to slide down to us with all those quarterbacks being coveted, and we could just take the most talented player on the board and shore up that position for the next 10 years. But it seems very unlikely at this point. John Conn reported that Jonathan Hankins wants an expensive multi-year deal, and the Redskins only want to give him a one-year deal. Antonio Rodgers-Cromartie visited the Redskins the same day as Jonathan Hankins. He is a very talented corner who played his best years in Arizona and just came from the Giants. He is talented, but he is asking for more money than the Redskins are willing to give up. It was originally thought to be a situation where the Redskins offered him a contract, he would sit on it for some months, and then he'd eventually accept the Redskins offer. But the Orlando Scandrick signing may have nullified the Redskins' pursuit of Antonio, especially since he's more than likely asking for way more than the Redskins can even afford, let alone give up. But I like Antonio Rodgers-Cromartie a lot. If we can somehow get him to an extremely team-friendly deal, that'll probably be our best signing of free agency. He's 6'2" and extremely fast. He can play a little bit of safety, he can play slot corner, and he can also play press man corner. He'll be a Swiss Army knife for this team if we can somehow get him. And in Redskins random Redskins news, 3 offensive Redskins starters are slated to miss OTAs due to injuries from last season. Tight end Jordan Reed and offensive tackles Trent Williams and Morgan Moses. Jordan Reed recently had toe surgery and is expected to be ready for training camp at the latest. We need them to get healthy real bad. They are big pieces to our offense. Speaking of injuries, the Redskins are going to add a state-of-the-art recovery center at the team facility before the start of the season. We got hit with one of the worst injury bugs I've ever seen in the NFL last season. Impact starters, Pro Bowl players, future Pro Bowl players, all going down, and not even just for short terms, but for season-ending injuries. We got to the point that one player we signed didn't even meet Kirk Cousins face-to-face until that player was in the locker room before the Seahawks game. Like, what? A couple of days ago, it was reported that we were in fact the most injured team last year according to adjusted games loss numbers. I'm very happy to see the Redskins doing something about it instead of just simply chalking up last season as a fluke or a bad luck. I'm very happy to see them spend a lot of money in order to avoid last year's main problem. Jay Gruden jokingly said that it better work because it is very expensive. Jay Gruden and Bruce Allen both feel that Alex Smith is an upgrade at the quarterback position. First of all, he is very cost-friendly compared to the current quarterback market, but also Jay Gruden really likes Smith's mobility, which opens up the playbook. Bruce Allen loves Smith's winning record and knack for getting into the playoffs. They both feel he is the key to taking us to the next step. And as much as people give Alex Smith grief for not taking enough deep throws, Alex Smith was actually statistically the best deep ball passer last year. And also, Jay Gruden was constantly frustrated with Kirk last year because Jay wanted Kirk to take more shots down the field and get Josh Doxson going. But Kirk, even though he started to take a little more, didn't take nearly enough for Jay Gruden. Some speculate that Kirk was just trying not to put up too many interceptions on his resume so he can maximize his current free agency, which he did. Jay is expecting that Alex Smith will actually take a lot of shots down the field. Alex to Doxson and Paul Richardson will be something to see this coming season. I'm excited. One of the league's best third down backs, Chris Thompson, is back. He is resuming football activities and running on the field. I'm excited. That was some of my favorite news to hear over the offseason. Dan Snyder is reportedly very furious with Bruce Allen. Dan Snyder said that if there is another major episode, Bruce Allen will be reassigned to Stadium Development Department. It has also been reported that it's been an accumulation of multiple things that have led to this frustration. PR stuff and not enough winning to go along with it, such as the Scott McCloughan situation, not hiring Wade Phillips and other very good coaches that were available at points in time. Dan also hated how the whole Kirk Cousins thing went and how much backlash the Redskins have received from fans. Bruce Allen will be replaced by Eric Schaefer, Senior President of Football Operations, if the Redskins continue to lose and or embarrass themselves. Chicago running back Jordan Howard's name has been attached to a lot of trade rumors. There seems to be some drama between the very productive back and his team. The Redskins may be able to trade for him, but the Bears may be asking for a lot in return though. Jonathan Allen is switching his jersey number back to his 93 he had in college at Alabama. He wore a 95 last year. Hopefully playing in his Alabama number will come with some of his Alabama durability. Also, for jersey buyers and collectors, you might want to hurry up and get that old 95 jersey before he becomes an all-pro Hall of Fame defensive lineman. And in messy stirring up the pot news, 95 is the number Jonathan Hankins wore for the Colts last year, so this may be a sign. Who knows? Just wanted to point that out and stir up some rumors. Also, I guess Jonathan Allen has to change his Instagram name now. Lastly, we have $17.3 million left in cap room. $2.5 million is estimated to go towards draft picks. $5 million will end up going to the practice squad. So that's like $10 million of cap space the Redskins will take into 2019. And we'll have to extend Preston Smith, Brandon Sheriff's option, and Jamison Crowder. So I do not expect many more free agency signings unless Jonathan Hankins or Antonio Rodgers-Cromartie accept extremely cheap deals from us. The Redskins may also gain some 2018 cap space by releasing Colt McCoy if Kevin Hogan works out. But it would only be like $3 million. And I don't think they trust Kevin Hogan enough yet. But that's it for this episode. Thanks for the view. I'm going to keep bringing y'all occasional updates on what the Redskins organization is doing throughout this entire offseason from December to August. This will include roster moves, draft prospects, scouting reports, and trades. I will be bringing y'all a Redskins draft guide pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. I got y'all back. Get in them comments and let me know how you feel. Are the Redskins making good moves or not? Are they being cheap or smart? Debate. Let your voice be heard. Make sure y'all Dolomite fake punch that like button, favorite, subscribe. I'll subscribe back, and most importantly, comment and share. And again, thank y'all for the support. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.